Woohoo! Songtown, welcome. I'm Clay Mills. I'm here with my co-host, Miss Dana Rogers.
What's up, guys? You guys are having a good night?
I know mine is starting to be good. It will get better from here. Hey, if you haven't been in Club SongTown before, what we do is we bring on special guests, hit writers, publishers. Tonight will be publisher Michael August. He's going to be joining us, and I'm going to put on my publisher hat with Vibe City, and we're going to give you critiques on your songs. We're going to listen to verse, chorus, and then critique it from a publisher standpoint, because you know, a lot of times we do the writer standpoint, and we want you guys to also get the viewpoint of publishers and what they look for in songs. You know, how can you make your song more cuttable for an artist pitch? So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Michael August from Demolition Music. Michael is both a great writer and a great publisher, so he's going to be able to give you a little bit more insight than maybe a typical publisher who doesn't write could do. You know, maybe if he hears something that can improve your pitch, he'll be able to verbalize it much better than a publisher that's not really a writer. So without further ado, let's bring up rock star Michael August.
Oh, come on. That intro was too much, Clay.
Thank you. I had a bunch of dental work done, and so I feel like my mouth doesn't know what to do right now. So
Oh no.
I will let you do as much talking as possible.
Oh man. We don't want that. I don't know what I'm gonna say if you let me off the leash here, dude.
All right. Mike says, is it too early for bourbon? Hey, it is Club SongTown. I'm drinking water tonight, on a rare occasion, but you are, sometimes we have a game where if a certain thing gets repeated, then the audience members have to take a drink. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Man.
if Clay or Michael sings back any lyric on the screen, you guys drink.
Oh, right.
won't.
If we sing a melody, if we sing the melody back, then yeah, it's dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Oh man. Why did I start the whole 30 3 days ago? I'm like, I'm on LaCroix right now.
No, that's exactly what I did. I started that today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
All right.
No kidding, man. Well, let's cheers to our health and not waking up hungover.
But I'm doing double because I am doing an all protein diet for 30 days.
Whoa.
I don't know if you've heard about that, but a lot of people have been into it's kind of a fad right now.
Yeah.
But I did it last year and I lost like 12 pounds, and so I'm like, okay, it's time to lose those 12 pounds now that I've gained them back.
Yep. Same.
Getting ready for the birthday bash.
So you do not want to know me for the next 30 days. So
That's awesome.
let's go. Let's hear some music, Dana.
All right, let's hear some music. So first up, we have Whiskey Sour by Dan Harrison, Elise Yulo, and Bill O'Hanlon.
Nice.
Never knew how strong a heartbreak hangover could hit, that it would last this long, like a bad taste on your lips. Buddies think a little bit of devil's cut do the trick, but I can't even take one sip, 'cause she took the glow out of the neon, took the buzz out of this bar. Can't you, JD or Jim Beam, they don't hit me half as hard. Feels like rock bottom, the cherry on top is she took the happy out of happy hour, sitting here without her. She made the whiskey sour. Yeah, that whiskey sour.
Hey, Dana, I'm a little slow. Can you play that first verse again for me?
Never knew how strong a heartbreak hangover could hit, that it would last this long, like a bad taste on your lips. Buddies think a little bit of devil's cut do the trick, but I can't even take one sip, 'cause she took.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clay, do you usually jump in first? How does this work?
No, go for it, man.
Man, well, I was just going to say, first of all, a lot of familiar names on this song. Really love these writers in general. And yeah, this is really strong. Like, track feels great, super modern. Exactly what I like to hear as far as the track goes. It's not too much. Vibe is right. I love the hook. Yeah, I think I honestly have to dig. Like, I kind of was wondering why Clay played it back for that first verse, because I'm kind of agreeing. I want to really kind of like look at the first verse a bit, but I love that chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I was looking at Michael from a melody standpoint. There's a lot of like a lot of short little fragmented phrases. So I was trying to think when the chorus hit, because the verse was so much like that, I didn't think the chorus hit as hard. So I was just thinking, if I was a melody writer, could I set that chorus up better? And I was just thinking maybe if there was a little bit more legato phrases in that pre-chorus, something like, but I think a little bit down, like just something that was just stretching the melody out more legato for a second. It doesn't have to go that high, but then when you hit back with the short little syncopated staccato little things in that chorus, then I go, oh, okay, now it feels like I've gone somewhere. But that was the only thing I heard. I mean,
I
voice.
love that idea too, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a great call. Yeah, because it was like a little bit of repetition. And at first, I was going to say that the chorus, the range-wise, felt a little low compared to the verse. But once I got into it, I was just vibing. I liked it.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
haven't heard this. What did you think of the title? I haven't heard that idea before.
I haven't heard it. I don't know if you asked for copies on things, but with the Song Club, but I'd love a copy to listen to this thing again.
Yeah, and I think for me, putting my publisher hat on, the thing that, and I'm sure you're the same way, Michael, it's hard. If it's not an idea that's fresh and different, it's hard to get somebody to cut it. So just having a little thing like whiskey sour, okay, I never heard that before. So that'll pique, an artist or a producer's interest more than just another song that, with the title that pays off in a familiar way.
Yeah, I love that, man. And just some fresh stuff, like right from the top of the chorus. I love the idea of like, took the glow out of the neon, the buzz out of this bar. It's just cool,
Turn the whiskey sour. Love
Yeah.
It's so smart.
it. Good job, Bill.
Yeah, great job.
All right. Good start here tonight.
Yeah, strong start, man. And that's like Clay and Marty say all the time. Like, I feel like that's a pretty wide pitch. Would you say, Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got enough of the cool, modern Morgan Wallen vibe to it. And, there's a lot of guys that'll be coming down the chute that will look for that kind of vibe. But I don't think it's so much so that, a country or voice, I think a country or voice could work on it too.
Totally.
Good
Awesome.
job.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Join the Living by Sham Sundra. All right.
Up till now I was at a glass ceiling where there were stars, I only saw black. Found myself all filled up with feeling, with no way to do without you. I'm falling, I'm all in. Somewhere I ended up dazed. I'm falling, I'm all in. Babe, the way you amaze. When I'm with you, I'm with you. Float in the low light, you do it so right. When I'm with
Nice. I mean, loving the melodies. A lot of great repetition in this one. Definitely put you in the zone as far as like feels like chill pop kind of vibe there. I don't know that the hook hit me. Like,
Yeah.
that's my first thought.
Melodically or lyrically?
Lyrically.
Yeah. I was thinking too, the end of that chorus, I wish there had been on I Want to Join the Living, just something that made that melodically stand out so that it paid off. Because there's a lot of great stuff melodically, but just something, I want to join the living. It just sounded like he just kind of threw it away and there was no set melody. And I think if there was a set melody to it, it would just make it pay off a little bit. But what were you hearing on the lyric side?
Lyrically, and you know, you got to bear with me because sometimes I'm dumb, but I was trying to figure out what the juxtaposition might be about how you're not in the living right now, and just looking at maybe some things that could have, I guess, really kind of set that up a little bit more, where it's like you know, you haven't been, like, some references to just not feeling alive or being, you know, dead or whatever.
Some graveyard imagery, maybe.
Yeah, something just like some kind of imagery about that would help, I think.
Right. Like I mean, I was at the glass ceiling doesn't really nail it quite. I think that opening line should really nail that idea lyrically. I think the melody throughout there's a lot of contrast between the sections.
Totally.
But yeah, when I'm with you, I'm with you. Yeah, I want to join the living. I think you're right. Lyrically, it could pay off a little more. Do you think the vibe of this, Michael, could go in a sync direction?
You know, it's interesting you said that. I was like, because I was trying to put for a second trying to put my Grey's Anatomy hat on with this one, and looking at it through that lens. It's a little tricky just because the way the track moves, it kind of stays linear.
Yeah.
So there's not much dynamic or much build to it, which really is going to make it a lot more friendly in sync. I think looking at it from a lyric standpoint, though, it's close.
Yeah.
The thing we would need to do would probably be to take out some of the more specific things like Babe, The Way You Amaze, like, and not make it about maybe the girl specifically, but maybe broaden that up a little bit. And I feel like it would be lyrically in that sync wheelhouse for sure.
Yeah, and that's an important point about dynamics. I know that for sync, they want to have a wide dynamic range in a track so that they can pick and choose different sections that they might use. Even in that chorus production, if it was more like a big not a chorus, but just a bigger sound, you know, with the vocal and with the track, I think that would help that. But just kind of keeping it chill all the way through is really going to make it, I think, harder to nail that sync thing.
Yeah, Clay, that just to piggyback on that, it's a great call. Like, you could actually, like, the way it is, I can almost hear it being a drop chorus. Yeah. Where, you know, the beat comes out and maybe it's like, and I'm looking at right now, this is just with the sync hat on. Maybe it's like strings below that chorus.
Oh yeah.
It's just dynamically building up to the ending of it. Then I think you'd be the end of the chorus. Then I think you'd be looking at something a little bit more sync friendly. But yeah, this is on the right track for that for sure.
And then you could build it up more in the the end of that chorus and the second verse have, you know, full line drums rather than, but I like that idea of just dropping it down to strings and vocal or something in that chorus.
I think it'd be sick. Yeah.
Awesome. Good job, Sham.
Yeah.
Nice.
Solo right? There, that's cool.
Seemingly a solo right, which is awesome.
If I wonder if they did the track too. I don't know if you're male or female. So I was going to say, I wonder if he did the track because it sounds like a male voice. So be interesting to know if you're out there. Put it in the chat.
Yeah. I could see this with a female vocalist too, though. I was thinking
Yeah.
I was playing for sure. All right. Next up, we have Small Talk by Les Hodge and Lon Palmer.
Don't underestimate what your girl's saying. There might be deeper feelings she's betraying. You gotta listen close. She might be trying to show just what she's gonna need from you for love to grow. Don't call it small talk. You never know, 'cause there's no telling where it will go. There could be front porch swings, engagement rings before you blink. Don't call it small talk, 'cause small talk sometimes brings big things.
Cool. I think I like the title Small Talk. I can't tell if the end of the chorus kind of throws me a little bit with the big things. I totally get what you're going for. I don't know if it's hitting me paying off wise.
Yeah, and I wonder about the word brings, like, even if it was could small talk sometimes leads to bigger things. It sounds a little proper, sometimes brings big things. So if you make it more conversation, because sometimes small talk leads to bigger things or to big things. But
Yeah, dude,
melodically, there's a lot of great stuff in there.
Yeah, and that's a great call, Clay. I love that. That simplifies it a little. And I guess more on what Clay was saying about conversational, like a line like in the first verse, there might be deeper feelings she's betraying. If we're going country, I mean, it might help. Like, it starts right off with don't underestimate what your girl's saying. It's a lot of big language in here. I wonder if there's a way to simplify this thing.
I thought she was lying to him at first. It was like she's betraying,
That's what I was.
But there's something I liked about it at the same timeline. So it's a tough call. I would try to clean up any other. If you leave the betraying part, I would try to clean up the rest of it and make it more conversational for sure.
Yeah, like line like what would you say, Clay, about a line like what she's going to need from you for love to grow? Kind of like I wish it was like something like you would say a little bit more off the cuff for that.
Yeah. I know, and the melody works for me, but it is just a little what she's going to need for love to grow. It's just not the conversational speak that you want to go out and say, oh, Kenny Chesney can cut this tomorrow.
Right.
I think melodically it's in the ballpark. Just lyrically, if it's more conversational, I think the ideas is good. Like there's those classic songs in country, like Love Grows Best in Little Houses. And, so it's always that big and small kind of thing is kind of classic. And I think you've done a good job with the idea, but just clean up the conversational element, I would think.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good to hear a Lon song. It's been a while.
Yeah.
All right. So next song we have Sorry I Missed Your Call by Chris Dagnes.
Nice. I like the title already.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to like it.
Right.
I know.
Solo.
Killing it tonight.
Love that.
All right.
How many times can I tell you? If you leave, it's gonna be the last time. How many slam doors and goodbyes should one guy have to survive? Each time you tell me it's over, but then you did it again last night. Yeah, you packed up your things, had second thoughts, my phone rings while I'm out here wetting the line. Sorry I missed your call, but I'm on the other line. With some bait and a beer and a pull in the air, my lawn chair's where you're gonna find me. Sorry I missed your call, got a bite on the other line. She's a real good looker, man, I hope I hook her, yeah. I wanna make her round mine, make her round mine.
That's pretty freaking smart.
So fun too.
I know it feels great. It feels great. That chorus, I mean, moves like I want it to. Damn, I love that a lot. I guess the one thing I was wondering, or I was wanting immediately, was that I wanted the chorus to also end with, "Sorry, I missed your call, but I'm on the other line."
Yeah.
I do like where it ends right now. I don't know. I'm on the fence. What do you guys think?
No, I got hung up with the melody too, and I love the chorus melody. The verse melody, if I'm not mistaken, Dana, do you remember, did the verse? Can you play that again? Did it start on the downbeat?
Let me go back. Um,
How many times can
Yeah.
I tell you? If you
Okay,
leave-
that's good. Yeah, so for me, I'm a real stickler these days for contrast. If your chorus hits real heavy on the downbeat, sorry I missed your call, where you have all these lines coming in, hitting at the top of sections on that downbeat, I would really not repeat that in the verse, hitting hard on that downbeat as your first note also. Because what happens is you get to the second verse, you're going to do it again. Then the chorus comes, second chorus. You're starting on that downbeat again. It seems like a little thing, but I'm telling you, the guys that are consistently getting big cuts will vary when they come in. So maybe you come in after the downbeat in the verse one. How many times can I tell you? And then the chorus, it's right on the downbeat. Sorry I missed your call. Those little things like that add contrast between sections is like crucial these days to help you cut through. So that's always one of the first things I listen for, especially since songs now have the same chords in the verse and the chorus a lot. Then all these melodic contrast things start really being more important. I think the gag of the chorus, sorry I missed your call, but I'm on the other line, that feels like a payoff, like a hooky
Yeah.
payoff to me, I agree. I think I want to hear it at the end of that chorus.
Yeah, like if there's a way, it's like, because I could totally hear what Clay's saying too. Like you could even save it, or if you do bookend it,
Well, bookends, yeah, that would work.
yeah, bookending it would be cool, where you get the idea of like, there's somebody else that you're talking to before that, so that on the other line actually makes both sense. Or I don't even know. That's another thought I was thinking too. I wanted to throw out to you guys, like, just is there too many other lines, or is it?
Yeah. Or you could do this. You could just do sorry I missed your call at the end and not do on. So you would have sorry I missed your call, but I'm on the other line at the top. Then sorry I missed your call. I got a bite on the other line in the middle. And then maybe tag, maybe they did it with the production where it's a
I
post
think they had
production.
a little post like in the,
Okay.
or was that the intro?
It just wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
very loud. Yeah. So I would just maybe make a bigger deal out of that with your post-chorus production. Just that one line. Sorry, I missed your call, and then I think that would kind of be, that would tie it together like we're hearing. And I apologize if you did that. It just didn't feel like it was pronounced enough in the
Agreed.
mix.
Totally. Yeah. But I love this. I mean, this is a solo, right? And definitely think you're like, I mean, your head's in the right place here. Like, this is worth digging into.
Yeah, Chris, this is really close. And if you're doing this by yourself, solo writes, then you're right in the ballpark of where you need to be. And so I just want to encourage you to keep writing, because this stuff is real strong for a solo write.
Yeah.
And actually, I forgot to say his question. He had a specific question for this. He wanted to know your thoughts on pitching to a female artist along the lines of Priscilla Block. He thought maybe it would stand out because there's not many fishing songs for female country artists right now.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
Yeah.
I love
think
that idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clay.
I was just going to say, to me, anything like that can, like we were saying with the first song tonight, how it was a little different idea. Well, that to me makes me see the song differently. And I like that. Like, it's a good thing, that idea that's great.
Yeah. It's cool too. Cause like there wouldn't be many things you need to change in this, right? Except for like that. He's a real good looker.
Yeah.
but then
The hooker thing, but
I
you know.
know.
Yeah. Get the hookers out of the song. No, but I think it's a good, smart idea, especially for someone like
He don't like hookers like you do. Yeah, maybe
That's great.
he's a good
mean, I
looker. Doesn't hang with hookers.
I could see like Brooke Eden even doing that. I don't know if you guys know her, but
Yeah, totally, Brooke.
Should be great.
Lainey Wilson could be a cool pitch. There's an up and comer right now called named Erin Kirby that is just unreal, and she's doing a lot of like this would be a great pitch for her once she gets a deal and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good work.
All right.
Chris.
Nice one. Next up, we have August Sky by Randall Harris. Oops.
Oh, Randall.
6 weeks out on the road gets so old. I just wanna be back home. Miss the way you pull me close, but all I have is your voice on my phone. Ooh, when we're worlds apart, I still feel the beating of your heart. Underneath that August sky, a blanket down, a barefoot night, endless summer, you and me. Girl, that's where I wanna be. When I shut my eyes, I'll be holding you tonight, underneath that August sky.
Clay, you jump in first on this one. I've heard this one before, and I'll have some regather thoughts on it. But go ahead.
For me, Randall, I look to that idea. Like I said, I want to hear something I haven't heard before. To me, it feels. There's a Kenny Chesney song. Was it like 7 Days or something? I'm trying to remember the exact name of it. We lived a lifetime in those 7 days, but there was like this bittersweet quality to it, and it had this juxtaposition of this incredible 7 days, but then it ended, and so that made me feel something stronger for me with this. Underneath the August Sky, it's just a beautiful thing. And I just feel like, well, I've heard these kind of songs, Underneath the November Sky, and so I'm looking for what could make this hurt a little more, what can make it be different in another kind of way, just anything to make it cut a little deeper than it just kind of feels a little one-dimensional for me at this point. It's beautiful. I love the melody. I would say, though, Randall, when you get to the pre-chorus, the O, I love how you're stretching that out. That's contrast, but it's the same note that you're hammering at the top of the lines in the verse. So I would make that a different note, either go down with it or go up with it, and just so it's not that same note that you're doing on 6 weeks, and it would just offer a little more contrast. But I don't know. I like so much about it. It's well written. It just doesn't have that thing that makes me go, it's different, if that makes sense.
I completely agree. That's the one thing about this one where it's like, it's a well-written song. There's no doubt. Like, it's like, you know how to write a song. As soon as I hear it, I know that. And I remember there was one iteration of this thing that was, I think, Underneath the Bluegrass Sky, which in some way, I know it doesn't make that much sense, but it actually sounds cooler than August Sky. So I don't know. It's tricky. Like, but still, even if it was that, I think it's still what Clay is talking about, is it doesn't hit you in the heart as much as you want it to.
Yeah. Christina's asking, are the songs supposed to be country? And no, not at all, Christina. I think the last time we did this, we had quite a few pop songs. Basically, we're picking the songs that we got a lot of entries. I think there was over 100 songs, but trying to pick the strongest songs of the bunch. So no, please, all styles are welcome. You know, Michael and I both deal in sync. Our companies have gotten sync placements in all kinds of styles, and I know Michael's affiliated with publisher out in California, right, that does more pop stuff.
Yeah, we do. We've gotten pretty lucky with pop recently, so it's great to hear pop stuff. We're pitching it all the time.
And Christina, you may not know this, but the #1 song in the world last year, ABCDEFU, were 2 SongTown members that met in SongTown, took our classes, and so yeah, we like all genres. I know it sounds country tonight, but yeah.
All right. Next song up, we have Southern Weather by Brian Ramsey and Marianne Daughtry.
Southern weather is just like you and me. You love me today, but tomorrow we'll see. I can handle the wind, I can handle the rain. When southern weather says it's time for a change, southern weather is just like you and me. Monday it snows, Tuesday brings the heat. You spin me around in a tornado. The southern weather bites like the mosquitoes.
Cool. Definitely like love the bluesy, like jazzy type chord progression on this one and feel. I don't know, like with the publisher hat on specifically, I just don't know what I would do with it. Pitch wise, I was looking at it at the beginning, trying to look at it through the lens of TV and film sync, which could have some applications if it was recorded like it would have to be kind of really recorded in an old school vibey way.
Southern weather.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
With that chunky guitar just chunking through and
Yep. And that might have an application there in some occasions. It's not like we get asks for that a lot, but it's always good to have on hand. But as it goes, it gets a little bit more specific, but I don't know that really matters when it's like if they're asking for this sort of thing.
Yeah, I was questioning if it was too lyrically specific
Yeah.
as well. But one thing I would, Brian and Marianne, with the melody, every line of the song is half a line, pause, the second half of the line. Southern weather, pause. It's just like you and me. You love me today, pause. But tomorrow we'll see. And it just kind of does that throughout the song. You need some longer lines that go all the way rather than just halfway stop, halfway. Just, melodically, some lines that really change it up where it's going to keep, especially when you get to the bridge. I'm assuming it's like an AABA song. So when you get to that Black Umbrella, I would really love to hear the melody break out of that box there, at least there. If not within each little verse anyway, but by the time you get to that bridge, it really needs, Black Umbrella, just something that goes to a different feel with the way the melody flows and the length of the lines. That line length is really important these days to adding contrast between the sections. But I love the feel of it, and I like it. A lot of cool things about it, but I would just tweak that melody and then think about, what Michael was saying, is the lyric too specific? If you want to go in a sync direction, that could be something that could keep it from getting pitched in that direction. But it's real close.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Next up, we have Brew Crew by Stefan Zaitis, Jackie Hibbert, and Tom Fritz.
Is that the name of their writing team, the Brew Crew?
I hope so.
We're the same thing.
If not, it's a missed opportunity.
It really is.
Pretty senorita at the end of the bar. Caballero keeps trying, ain't getting too far. She ain't into guys, so save your money, son. Drinking by yourself, just spent your last dime. Can't afford a ticket to get you home in time. Since you can't leave, come have a little fun. You might be down on your luck, feeling stuck in the sand. Let us put a tall boy in your hand. 'Cause there's no bad days with the Brew Crew. No tides, no shirt, no shoes. Laid back, good vibes coming right on through. Long next, good times long overdue. No bad days with the Brew Crew.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. A lot of fun stuff in there, man.
So fun.
That's pretty cool, dude. I'm loving. I mean, that chorus is a lot of fun. I love the especially the B section of it. Love where you're going melodically. Just kind of interesting, keeps you guessing. Yeah, there's something to this, man. I mean, it might be like it might be a narrow pitch, but it's cool though. Something to it.
Yeah, that melody on the laid back, good vibes. It sounded like the Beach Boys meets a country line dance. It was it was like this weird mix. I liked it.
Yeah. Laid back.
Laid back, good vibe. And you notice how that line is a lot longer than the other lines. That's kind of what I was talking about on the last song, so that you add some contrast with your melody. The only thing I was thinking, I don't know if you thought this way, Michael, for songs today, it did take a long time to hit that chorus.
It did, I know.
So I don't know if they could get away with cutting that verse down to 3 lines and then the pre-chorus. But it just felt like, by today's standards, that chorus is the whole shebang for this song. It's a fun chorus. That's where people are going to be singing along, and it just took a while to get there. And I think that it was a little long for my taste, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and it's almost like, I was looking at the verse, you almost could get away with just the first stanza right into the pre, you know?
Yep.
You know, I mean, it maybe with a few tweaks, but it's like, I like the thought of that. Pretty senorita at the end of the bar. What's that word? Caballero?
Yeah, Caballero. My guitar is named a Caballero. Just fun fact.
Oh, that's cool. What is that, by the way? Is it basically like a guy?
I think so.
Caballero keeps trying, ain't getting too far. She ain't the guy, so save your money, son. You might be down on your luck, feeling stuck in the sand. I mean, it still kind of works, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think a few tweaks on this thing, and this would I feel like if you just one extra thought, by the way, because just hearing the first verse and chorus, if you do this thing, I mean, it's gonna need, like, I almost feel like it needs a demo singer to really sell this. Maybe like a really awesome baritone kind of singer would just kind of bring this thing to another level, like a Dylan Carmichael kind of voice, you know?
Bill O'Hanlon says a caballero is literally a horseman, and
That's awesome.
Spanish for cowboy.
Cowboy.
And I knew that. I don't know why I didn't remember it, but yes,
There you go.
Spanish for cowboy.
Yeah, cool stuff, guys. Good work.
And Johnny J, good point, Johnny. You're saying, was there going to be another publisher tonight? Yes, there was. We'll bring her on another night, Elizabeth Brand. She actually got invited to an album release party where her company has 3 songs on the album, so she couldn't say no. And besides, she wanted to be there. It's a big deal to have 3 songs on a new album. So she will be back another time. We'll do this again with more publishers.
Nice. Yeah, Josiah Siska is a good call, Bill. I love Josiah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Awesome. All right. Next song up, we have Quarterback by Aaron Rosing and Carly Zimmerman.
It was her senior year, had a shot at state, first time since 98. Whole town turned out that Friday night to see the home team play. Well, it hurt real bad to lose like that. I told him he'd be alright. He said I'd never understand what it's like. And boy, I sure wish that he'd been right. 'Cause now every time I hear our song, the heartbreak that I thought was gone and all that went wrong comes rushing right back. Sweet Caroline on the radio, his hand in mine on the way back home. I thought forever would look just like that, but now I'm standing at this jukebox, and I just want my quarter back.
Shit. I love that.
I know.
I don't know if I can curse on here, but I was like, it's a family show. Sorry, but that's really good.
Yeah, this one kind of blew my mind. Not gonna lie.
Love that hook, man. That is so good. Jeez. Like, I definitely want a copy. I want to hear it again. What do you think, though? That's like my initial thought, but go ahead. I mean, we could definitely dissect it even more. Oh, Clay, I think
You were muted. Wait, hold on.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree totally, Michael. That is a great payoff at the end of that quarterback. It's awesome. I thought the chorus, I can't sing an octave higher, but I thought the melody was, for this kind of song, it just, the melody kind of was static all the way through. It didn't have much dynamics. So if I was singing an octave higher, I would try in that chorus. 'Cause now every time I hear our song, where you're just going up, I know that's lower than where you were, but if you imagine that up an octave, yeah, where Dana's singing or Michael.
That's Michael.
Okay.
I'm just humming it in my head here, trying to figure, because I like that idea, Clay. I think that'll give it some range.
And plus, on this kind of song, you wanted to get more emotional in the chorus. And I think you really need to lean on the melody to do that, to just lift it a little higher so that it pulls a little bit more of the emotion out. And then when you come down at the end of that chorus and you hit, I just want my quarterback. Wow. I mean, then there's some dynamics to it. And I know today, a lot of songs get away with not having a lot of melodic dynamics. It's more compressed. But for this kind of lyric, I think you really need that extra little dynamic with the melody. But I love it. I think it's a great lyric.
Yeah, Clay, that's a good point with that chorus. And like maybe even more melodically with the chorus, like if we're really dissecting, because I read ahead, and gosh, that bridge is a heartbreaker. And just so good. The whole thing is so good. But like the melody in that chorus, that's the one thing, because it's a little bit like Clay said, it's a little like it didn't, the range wise, but also you think it's a smidge wordy or something. Like I wonder if like you can get the same message with a smidge less words.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Yeah. I mean, overall, because it was a long verse, that if there's anything in that chorus that you could clean up and take syllables out, I think it will help it hit. And also, I mean, now I'm really nitpicking a little bit, but the Sweet Carolina on the radio, to me, just seemed at that point the melody was wandering. So I would clean up, like Michael said, try to thin out some syllables, but in the middle of that chorus, try to have a little bit more of some rhythmic hooks, some little phrases that were small rhythmic hooks, so that you keep my attention going in that middle part of the chorus. Because the opening of the chorus was hooky, and so I just think just a little bit, 5% more on that melody would be huge.
Definitely.
Totally.
Can we talk about that? Just so well written, like the idea that like, because I was reading ahead again, and I love how like this whole thing happens on a drive, like, yeah. And they're heading back home, and it's so sweet at the chorus, and then you get to the bridge, and it actually all happened within that moment.
Oh yeah,
just strong story writing right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels modern though. It feels like a Carly Pierce picture, or like,
yeah, definitely.
Like a Tennille Towns.
Mm-hmm. And I did not see the hook coming. I figured it was going to be, I want him back, but not the jukebox. That got me.
Yeah.
You know what? If it was Carly Pierce, I mean, I'm thinking. So I love the way the chorus flows, because now every time I hear our song, that heartbreak that I thought was gone and all that went wrong comes rushing right back. Now the next section, I feel like, oh, they're gonna. My instinct is we need to repeat that, but you can't. It doesn't speak the same and it doesn't sing the same. Coming with the Sweet Caroline on the radio, it just felt different. So that might be where you try to clean it up, where you make it just feel a little bit more like those first couple of lines at the top of the chorus.
Yeah. Do we know, is that Carly singing? I love the
I don't
voice.
know.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
sounds
Okay,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right.
Yeah,
Nice
definitely
job.
would love to hear that again. Great work.
You got it. All right. Next up, we
That is
have.
Carly singing.
Oh, is it? Oh, yay! Carly's here. Great job.
Yeah, really good job, Carly.
All right. Next up, we have Whiskey Says by Paul McCulley and someone with the last name of Black, and they did not include the first name, so I'm not sure.
You said we were a match made in heaven, burning hot till you blew it out. Now I'm sipping a Seagram 7, wondering what I'm gonna do now. People are quick to give advice, telling me I'm gonna be alright. But that's not what the whiskey says. It's telling me I can't live without you. With every sip, the whiskey says there's no remedy for this heartbreak. My mama says you were no good for me. My buddies tell me pretty soon I'll see some other girl come along and get you out of my head. But that's not what the whiskey says. No.
I'm just reading through it again. Cool stuff. Buddy sound pretty soon. Yeah. I like the idea. I think I'm just having a payoff thing with this one. It's not as hitting me as hard as I want it to. Because I love, like, you've got some great, like, imagery lines and kind of metaphors starting off, burning hot till you blew it out, sipping Seagram 7, obviously like a lot of good tie-ins. But yeah, I don't know if the hook's hitting me as much.
There's a cool thing on this. There was an old writer back in the day, Harlan Howard in Nashville, and he had this test that he would do. He would read a line of the verse, "You said we were a match made in heaven," and then he'd read the title line, "But that's not what the whiskey says." And I think this is a good song for trying to follow that, where people are quick to give advice, tell me I'm not going to be all right, but that's not what the whiskey says. I don't know if the whiskey says he's going to be all right. I would try to, in those verses, make it where it was bigger payoff, where people are saying this, but that's not what the whiskey says, and try to kind of make sure every line in the song, because if you get my buddies are talking, the bartender's talking, if they're saying all this stuff, then it better be the opposite of what it better play into the whiskey. Otherwise, it's just, okay, who's talking? Why are they talking? Like, then it just gets kind of confusing. So I would really make sure that every line that you say somebody is talking, that it's really something the whiskey would disagree with. Otherwise, it just gets too confusing lyrically. But I like the idea. I don't think I've heard that said, but that's not what the whiskey says. I don't remember hearing that in the song title.
Yeah, that is a cool idea. It's funny you said that, Clay. I didn't realize that was a Harlan Howard thing. The first time I heard that was Jeffrey Steele did like a keynote speech like way back when I was first getting started, and that always stuck with me. It's a pretty cool little exercise you could do at the end of when you're done your song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really works with songs like this. And Harlan taught a lot of us how to write songs. He was Jeffrey Steele, Al Anderson, all those guys learned from him, and I learned from those guys. So really, there's a lot of promise here, Paul. So I would really, with the lyric, take it to heart and try to, I think the melody and the chorus works well. So I would just focus on the lyric.
Awesome. All right. Got
John
another?
Rosenthal says, Tim McGraw's song Standing Room Only has nothing to do with the hook. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I know you brought that up before, and I looked at it. It didn't seem like there was anything out of kilter with that. But, I don't know that song enough to just pull it out of my hat right now.
Yeah, same. I know I've been hearing it a few times, but I haven't studied it either.
All right. And it looks like Paul's here in the chat. Nice job, Paul. Next up, we have Bars and Business by David Troll, PJ Repetto, and Karen Fraden. Fraden?
Braden.
Never know how to say people's names. I see them every day.
Sorry, you got me on a thing with that song Standing Room Only. I think you have to, Don, look at the first two lines, because it says, I get so mad at things that don't matter way too much. I let the way back winds and my old friends scatter like dust. So to me, that sets up that chorus great, because he's let his friends scatter like dust. And if you know what the whole idea of that chorus is, when he dies, he wants there to be standing room only. So that first line of the song, don't look at the first line, look at the first two, because it's a complete thought. And he's going, I've let my friends scatter like dust, but I need to turn this around, because when I die, I want there to be standing room only. So I think it does work. It's just you got to look at the first two lines and not a single line.
All right. Here we go.
It's a different kind of 9 to 5, but I'm still showing up and changing lives. It don't pay too much, but I do it out of love for the people. I clock in with a smile on my face. Ain't a real job, but I treat it that way. When their stock is down, I'll make sure they stick around. I'm the guy who makes the difference. Keeping bars in business, keep this whole town spinning. They call me boss when I walk in, 'cause I'm a job creator, happy hour chaser. I never miss a single shift. It's my way of giving, helping others make a living. Bottoms up, top shelf, got a mission. Keeping bars in business.
It's cool. That's cool. I love that hook, keeping bars in business. It's great. This whole town spinning. I don't know. I mean, something is feeling like it's not totally there yet. I mean, some melody things in the chorus are throwing my ear a bit. Yeah. What do you think, Clay?
Yeah, I think part of it is to pull this kind of song off. The demo singer really needs to sound like a guy from Texas, doing a two-step while he's singing, because it sounds a little strangely pop, even though I think it's just the voice I'm hearing is what's throwing me. It's a little cute, so that's what I'm wondering. Is it more of like a Texas kind of country thing? I don't know how many country artists would be this cutesy for mainstream like country pitch. What do you think, Michael?
I know. I was thinking that too, and I was waiting for. Okay, so I'm just trying to read it down, and I was seeing if I missed something. But who is this person?
He's just a patron of the
He's
bar.
just a regular guy.
Okay,
think.
okay, that's what I figured. All right, yeah. I guess that was my one issue was like, it's so fun, like the idea is so fun, but I just wonder, like, is an artist
it's
going to want to
nailed.
say that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is an artist going to want to be this dude?
Mm-hmm. It's
who's-
kind of funny.
He's
Like
fun.
it
He's
made me
funny.
chuckle. Like
Yeah, it might be like it would be a very narrow pitch. That's why for a second I was thinking, are you doing a play on beer? Like is beer that, who you're talking about in the verse, or is it, you know what I mean? Like, just not the actual singer just drinking the bar dry.
Yeah.
But that's my only thought, is that I think it's very smart. But I just don't know how many pitches I'd have for it.
Yeah, that's why I was saying maybe perhaps a Texas country artist.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I write sometimes with those guys, and they have a little bit more room to get cutesy. But yeah, I mean, in the image conscious mainstream, it might be hard to pull that off. I don't hear right now a mainstream country singer that I can think of that.
I know the only one that was coming off the top of my head was maybe Tim Duggar.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. I'd have to dig.
Because
But
he's
it's
a real
cool, though.
throwback, yeah.
Yeah.
And you might play around keeping bars in business, like
Yeah.
trying to ham up the country. Like, imagine if George Jones was singing this, like that. Take it more in that direction with the vocal delivery. I think that would help sell it a little more.
And I think Karen is here in the chat. She says this is a work tape. So maybe something to keep in mind for
that's
to
good to
demo
know.
it up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know. It's smart. Like, it's really cool. Like, I think if you guys do demo it, it might be worth having in your arsenal just for that.
Here's one thing though, Michael. I think it could be nailed at the top of that chorus a little more clearly, keeping bars in business with these dollars I'm spending, or something.
Oh, yep.
Something that
Yes.
right away he's a guy spending his money in the bar. I think if that second line, because what is the whole town spinning got to do with the bar?
Right.
So I think if you clean up that line, Karen's a great lyricist. I know she'll have a better idea than me there. But I think if you just nail it right away, that he's there spending his money every night and keeping that bar afloat, just make it a little bit more obvious in that second line, then I think that'll really help that chorus a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that thought.
Awesome.
Good work.
All right. Next up, get the next video here. We have Who's Losing Now by Marilyn Oakley and Carlene Wentworth.
treat love like some silly little game where this ain't poker, there's no chips to be claimed. I will be the wind that blows you clear to Santa Fe, and on your way you can take all your cliches. All your cliches. Listen now, you can bet it in me. I'm as cheaper as a chickadee. I am ready to gamble, lay my money down and make $1 million bet on who's losing now. Who's losing now? You're the attitude of Jasmine. I made this in a million years.
That's cool. Can you play the verse one more time?
No chips to. You treat love like some silly little game where this ain't poker, there's no chips to be claimed. I will be the wind that blows you clear to Santa Fe, and on your way you can take all your cliches. All.
You know, Clay's definitely the melody guy here, but I love the fact that you're throwing, you know, you're definitely, you know, kind of making that verse off kilter melodically. It's got some really fresh rhythms and ideas and kind of placing things where you don't expect them to be. I think I just wish from more of like if we're looking at more of like a Swedish pop, you know, melody, I wish there was a little bit more repetition in it that my ear could grab onto. However, I do love, like, you have at the end of the verses, you have the O's, like the hooks, which is really cool. That's repetition right there. And the chorus too, like I was wanting that, if we're going to start off with that who's melody losing now, I might want to hear that again, just to really kind of latch onto it, because you've got some some really cool ideas melodically here. That's my first thought.
Yeah. I think I love the rappiness of that verse, but I think you're right, especially on the last line or so of the verse, if it created more of a hook, like, on your way, you can take, like some definite rhythm patterns that repeat. So you go, okay, there's at least some form here somewhere in it. But yeah, I like the vibe of it. I think it works. There's plenty of contrast between the sections. I'm not. I'm just trying to think where you would go with that. Is there a sync thing, or is it? Because I don't think I hear that like on mainstream pop radio. So I'm trying to think of
No, me
what you
too.
could
And I
do.
was thinking that sync wise, it's not feeling very syncy either. Just again, like kind of like we talked about earlier, a little bit more from a dynamic standpoint, and just thematically, with things in here like the wind blows clear to Santa Fe. You know, I think one of the biggest rules or tools, we'll put it in sync, is like, you know, no times, places, dates, things like
Right.
that. And this is kind of about something specific, like this other person. Right off the bat, you treat love like some silly little game. That would have to be, I mean, that would take you out of a ton of different scenes,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, right?
And I'm not sure that, you know, they mean for this to even be sync.
Right.
I mean, it has a lot of things I like about it. I
Yeah.
like the vibe of it. I think for that chorus feel, if it was a positive theme, then you could see it leaning more towards sync.
That's a good call. Yeah.
But right now, I'm not sure where you're wanting to go with it. So it's kind of hard for me to make a call on that. But I like it, you know. There's enough for me to say I like it there.
Like I could like what Clay was saying, actually, if this, I mean, and this is just all food for thought, by the way, but if this chorus was like something positive, whatever it was. And the chorus was like right off that top, like, who's da da da, da na na na, who's da da da, da na na. Like that could be sync heaven right there,
Yeah.
especially if it's like something very universal and broad, like who's, I don't even know what the messaging would be, but if you could make it more like, almost like, this feels like that chorus would feel like more of like an ad friendly thing.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I think it is supposed to be a positive spin.
It is,
Right?
but it is, but it's the way it's written. I think because who's losing now repeated over and over is not necessarily a positive thing. It's not like it's not like the verse was, it was bad, but now there's nothing but sunshine now, and the chorus opens up and it's happy.
What it
so
could be? It'd be funny. Like you could literally flip it and it would work much better if it was just who's winning now.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
Bill
exactly.
O'Hanlon just said that in the chat.
Like,
Yes,
that's
good call,
great.
Bill.
There you go, Bill. Yeah. Like, it's so funny, but like, yeah, then you could be like, it could be a sports thing. It could be, a selling sunset thing, any of those reality shows, because TV's not in business right now. So we have to
Yeah. It says the same thing, but it totally flips open the possibilities there with that little shift.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Bill's from Santa Fe. I know he's not a writer on here, but he made a good suggestion. He's from
Yeah,
Santa Fe.
Bill.
All right. Next up, we have Good Guys Always Finish Last by Marvin Shelton.
I was the one leaning on the wall, looking at the guy that had it all, wondering how he did it, wishing that it could be me. Every time he put his arm around you and shot that smile like bad boys do, I knew he'd break your heart and that you'd finally see. Good guys always finish last, first in line to have your back, the hand you wanna reach for when you're sad. We're the smile in your eyes when you laugh, the reason you won't regret the past, even though all the odds are stacked. Good guys always finish last.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, I love that
It's so
melody
good.
when it kicks in the chorus.
Me
First
too.
melody's tight.
Yeah.
Michael, does it pay off enough? I'm trying to figure out, does it mean that a good guy will be there at the end of the day and
It
be
means
by
they
your
get
side?
the girl, I think.
What?
I thought it meant they get the girl,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
But I don't think it's quite 100% clear enough. I think that even though all the odds are stacked, maybe somewhere in there in the setup, I just feel like to make it pay off where it's clear that the good guy's gonna be there through it all. It's gonna be there at the end through the hard times, and at the end of the day, the good guy will be there for the girl.
yeah. That's
Then it's like a positive payoff, and you're twisting the phrase, which I love. I just felt like just nail it just a little bit more, and it would be so cool.
I know. I totally agree. I think it's so close too, man. And great flip on that hook. That's a really good idea. Maybe it is just right in that setup.
Yeah, like just they'll be there at the end of the day or something, to just know that at the finish line they will be there with you. And man, I loved everything about it until right at the end of that chorus. I just wanted it to hit harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great job, Marvin. It looks like you wrote it by yourself.
Another
which-
solo right.
Yeah.
Shoot.
You guys are killing it.
Yeah.
You really are. All right. Awesome. We got about 10 minutes left. You want to do one or two more? If anyone has questions, you want to have them throw that in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead and
Cool.
start throwing. Let's listen to one and throw your questions in the chat.
All right. So this is from Chris Malloy and Brian Mitchell.
I should know better than to light these candles or go to the door and turn that handle. In a velvet dress that fits a little too damn well, I should know better. Better than to pour some Jim Beam for two or lean into him in my living room. Let him catch a bit of that Chanel perfume. I should know better. But with his hands on me, I can't keep it together. On the couch, pinned between his skin and the leather. He'll spin me high in the clouds before he lets me go. Then I'm tumbling through the air, light as a feather. The best things I've ever had were boys that came and went like that. Can't help but wonder whether maybe he's no better. Lord knows I know better.
Man, there's so many good things about this. I love where you're going in that verse. Like, just the imagery is great. Like, right off the bat, like, and then just the use of the hook, you know, in the verse, like, so casually. I love where you're going. I think it loses me in the middle of the chorus.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's like, I like where you go with the chorus, though, about the idea of, like, he's no better, or something about the other version of no better. But yeah, it loses me somewhere in the chorus there.
Dana, can you play that first half of the verse again?
I should know better than to light these candles or go to the door and turn that handle. In a velvet dress that fits a little too damn well, I should know better. Better than to pour some Jim Beam for two.
Okay.
Or lean.
I felt like there's a lot of lines you're jumping in at odd places with the melody lines. I think it would work, but I really feel like I need something solid melodically on the I should know better each time. So it feels like a melodic hook. I should know better, or something where it's like definite quarter notes where, okay, now I'm grounded here. And then each time you hit that, it has that same melody. Right now, it just feels a little bit like it's just kind of an ad-lib line, which the whole rest of the verse feels like an ad-lib. So I think if you try to come up with a real concrete, solid melody for those 4 words there, I think that would help the verse. But I agree with the chorus. I mean, that setup to that verse lyrically, I mean, in a velvet dress that fits a little too damn well, I should know better. Like, I mean, you can't say that any better, you know?
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm not sure what that chorus needs though, Michael.
You know what I was
mean,
thinking as
yeah.
as you were talking, I was reading it, and I was thinking the chorus. I mean, it could be just simplified with the idea of
Yes.
like, because I've been here before, or we've been here before, and it's like, and I literally know better because this doesn't lead anywhere else than you slipping out at whatever at 6 a.m. and whatever. And I wonder if you could. Like, and I don't know if it should end with the KNOW better, or if you could get a nice twist with that, like, this thing doesn't get no better. Like us together doesn't get no better, something, whatever that is, but like just something else, a little extra twist on that, but maybe simplifying the chorus.
That's because the verse is pretty busy and complicated. So if you start off with "I've been there before" as the top of the chorus, this has gone badly before, then yeah, I definitely think that would simplify it. And then, but with his hands on me, it can't keep it together. That feels more like a setup line for the end of the chorus. And I'm wondering if this, doesn't get any better, or does, if it's something that top line of the chorus feels like a setup line for a nice twist at the end of the chorus, and then throw your idea at the top of the chorus. That's I've been here before, because ultimately when you get to a chorus, you want to feel like there's a switch in the idea and the emotion, and you're just continuing the idea with that first line. So if you were more like, because I've been here before and it ended badly, then okay, now we've moved on to a chorus direction rather than just continuing the same train of thought that's going through the verse. And then you bring it back at the end of the chorus, but with his hands on me, I can't keep it together. I should know better, or whatever you want to end. Whatever you want to end the chorus with, I think that would be a better setup. But I think that's what was throwing me, is it just felt like one long verse all the way down to the last line of the chorus. And I think we could just rearrange some things to make it feel more like a chorus would feel.
That's cool.
Lyrically, yeah.
Yeah, I love what and Clay, just to kind of jump in even more on this, like Clay, what you were saying at the end of that chorus, that could be interesting if you like examine the idea of like, I know, like kind of being together, with your hands on me don't get. I wonder if is that weird to say without like,
because it feels like it doesn't get no better.
That's what I want to say. Yeah, literally. Yeah, doesn't get no better.
Cool.
Or I don't want to know better.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to know
That's
better.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is real close, Brian and Chris.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome. We do have some questions in the chat here. Saw some good ones. Joey wants to know how much production is needed when pitching a song, or is there value in an acoustic demo and leaving some room for the artist or label to add some flavor?
Man, it's so funny. We talk about this on the daily right now because, and Clay, I don't know if you agree, but I feel like I got here to Nashville 10 years ago. And when I got to Nashville, it was like demo wars. Like everyone's demo needed to sound better than everybody else's. Volumes were through the roof. Productions were pretty much master level. Now I'm getting this sense like our plugger has a monthly at Big Loud, and she's literally pitching work tapes right now because they like to hear work tapes again.
Yeah.
I feel like less is more right now. We're kind of in this zone. I'm feeling like, unless of course the song calls for it. But I don't know, man. It's funny because I'm having everybody produce things less than they used to.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the case in Nashville. If you're going for a pop thing, I mean, a lot of times those demo tracks end up being turned into masters. So there's a little bit more competition for pop. Sync, I think is a little higher standard of production. Well, I mean, there are songs that you could get, you know, if you're on Yellowstone, maybe it could be a guitar vocal, like who knows. But I think overall, my take is for country, less is a lot more these days. You know, simple work tapes, drum loop, guitar, you know, guitar vocal with a pad sound, but not so much of the old way where people would hire a 6-piece band in a great studio and you were trying to get the A-list players on your demo sessions because you had to have, it's like you said, it was demo wars. And I think for country, they've gone the complete opposite now. It's stripped down, it's simple, and you know, it really just depends on what your market is right now. Sync and LA pop, yeah, go a little bit more produced. Nashville, underproduce it.
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
Totally agree.
I saw another really good one here. Sky wants to know, are publishers getting into the sync game? For those of us looking to pitch to sync agents, should we consider pitching to publishers as well?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, definitely do the research about the publisher and make sure they have a really, you know, if they have a sync team on board, then for sure. I think a lot of publishers in Nashville, like we got into sync pretty heavily 5-6 years ago. So for us, it was like, you know, it just was one of those things where as a country music publisher, small, we're a Demolition, we're a small team, literally 6 writers. If we were just chasing country cuts, we would have been out of business a long time ago. So sync was a really big piece of our business, and now it's become at least 60% of the business for us specifically. So I think definitely start looking into publishers. The deal structures might be a little different, but then again, the way we do it, we have situations that pretty much mirror your typical sync house deals.
Lisa's asking, so many songs don't get reviewed. Are there options for feedback from publishers? Yeah, I mean, if you go to our SongTown on the homepage, guys like Michael, I usually suggest you get a batch of songs, like 5 or 6 songs together, and you can book a mentoring session with a publisher like Michael and play him songs. That's available. Michael, as well as 7 other publishers in pop, sync, country, Christian, CCM. We have publishers that run our monthly edge groups where you meet with a publisher every month. And that's a great way to learn to target right for specific artists. You have the publisher there that can actually sign a song if they like it. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways in SongTown to get your songs in front of the right people.
All right. Do we want one more? Are we going to wrap it up for the night?
One more.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question for Michael. How do you usually find the writers that you sign?
Oh, that's a great question. It's through all different means. Sometimes we see someone live at a round and we're just really impressed. Sometimes entertainment lawyers will go to friendly with entertainment lawyers and we'll ask them who they're shopping right now, who's out of a deal. And we'll get some good details from them. Sometimes we are honestly like looking at TikTok, looking at Instagram. A lot of times it's I will tell you the truth though, it is a lot of like relationships. So a lot of times I will get, sent stuff by someone I trust. Hey, check this artist out or check this writer out. They're really good. Brent Baxter, for example, a bud of mine, he sent me a writer the other day. And I loved what the guy was doing. So we set up a meeting. So really kind of all different ways.
Yeah. And I think one of the most common ways, just for myself, I know that almost every deal I ever got was through a co-writing situation where say if I was writing with Michael or one of his writers, and then Michael goes, "Oh, who's this guy you're writing with?" He says that to his writer, and then the writer, I like the songs you're writing with this Clay Mills guy. Like, I want to talk to him. So I think that happens a lot in the business. So if you're not co-writing, that would be a great thing to start working on, because very little happens without you being able to develop those co-writing relationships. There are a few writers that manage to get solo cuts, but I think you just really increase your networking if you can co-write.
That's a great call, Clay. Like, because also, a big thing with publishers is you'll notice, like, if you're getting your crew together in Nashville or LA or what have you, you're getting together, everyone's starting to get cuts. Maybe the artists in your crew are starting to get deals. You'll notice that publishers will start signing everybody around that crew because they know that they're all writing with that one artist who's taken off. It really has to do with networking and doing your own A&R, people you believe in and people you think are amazing artists, the next Keith Urbans, and then, stuff like that.
And you're right. People come up in groups. So many times we get Songtown members go, "Hey, how do I write with this hit artist or this hit songwriter?" And honestly, everyone I've known that's ever made it in the music business tends to come up with their peer group. So if you're writing, like Michael said, with an artist who gets hot, then that's one way you can do it. Or if you're co-writing with other writers, maybe one of your friends that you write with a lot signs a deal, gets some cuts on songs that you've been co-writing with, then all of a sudden people are looking at you because you're part of that equation. So always start with the people. Try to find the best writers around you that you can work with, and that will help you network. And then the final thing is in our edge groups. We've had over 15 writers come out of the edge groups at Songtown and sign deals with publishers, people like Connor Sweet and Sarah Davis. So, it's another way to network with people in the industry.
Oh yeah. Clay, it's amazing because I was like, I don't know how long I've been doing Songtown, the Edge group now. Maybe it has to be 4 or 5 years. And Sarah Davis was actually in my Edge group.
I know.
Back when we first started. And it's amazing the talent. We always talk about it. Like, one of the biggest things that I like to leave everybody with Songtown in general is that, the value from the publishers and from the hit songwriters is really important. But honestly, the most important thing is the relationships you gain with each other. You never know who's going to do what. And it's just, there's some super talent in this group,
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We will do this soon. Probably another month and a half, we'll be back. So look for it, and we will be bringing another publisher. Elizabeth, I know she wants to come back, so we'll get her back in here. She's great.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Thanks, guys. It was awesome.